Yeah.
Welcome back to Obidient Family TV. This is still Obidient Women, and I am your host for today, Sharon Enemchuku. Joining me are this beautiful, fabulous women. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys. Good afternoon. My name is Jessica, and welcome back to the show.
And my name is Ife Grace.
Okay, welcome. Your name is so short. I like that.
Okay.
So you don't like mine?
No,
It's fine.
Jessica. Nah, it's not my kind of name.
Oh, nice.
Welcome back.
Okay.
We missed you yesterday.
Yeah, I missed you guys as well.
So welcome back.
Thank you.
Today we're going to be talking about an interesting topic. It's the future of petty traders in P2B's administration.
Yeah.
So here we're just going to be touching a little on finance. We're going to be looking at the economy and what petty traders are bringing to the table, how Mr. P2B is going to, help improve the future of these petty traders. I mean, we all know that Mr. P2B more than once has been referred to as a trader. Even on
He was once a trader as well.
And he carries that proudly. He has said that even on his passport, his profession says trader. And you know how he said some people have tried to tell him, oh, just change it to banker because he was once the chairman of the bank.
Yeah, he's proud of that.
He's the chairman of the bank. Yeah, and then he's like, he wants to stick with trader. So if you're a petty trader or you know someone, this is the show for you.
Yes.
This is why you would, I think with this show you would understand better why every petty trader should vote in this man.
True.
Because there are just so much benefits, and we're going to be diving into that a little. So when we talk about petty traders, we already know from the name we're talking about small scale businesses, small scale enterprises. We're talking about traders at the lowest level of the ladder. People that you see, we're not talking about companies, we're talking about small enterprises. So that's what you should have in your mind. So if that fits your description, you're at the right place.
Yep.
Now we are going to be starting from, this is just going to be a free
discussion.
Yeah, a free discussion. So just feel free to just throw in your own opinions. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be looking at something that P2B said very recently. He was on an interview and he gave this comparison between Nigeria and India, and he was saying that Nigeria we're 200 million, right? And we are living on 900.23,000 square meters of land, and we are still not producing. I mean, we are not producing enough food for ourselves. We are not exporting. And he compared us to India, whereas these people are 1.4 billion people, and they are living on 3.3 million kilometers square of land, and yet they're able to feed themselves and also export. So this is where he's trying to explain to us the problem of why we are not exporting and why we are not producing. First, I totally agree with what he said. He said that that's because there has not been enough investment or funding into that space. And you see small businesses, you see you see farmers, they are not able. Let's take a look at the north, for example. Look at the land in the north. Massive. And they said it's like 60% of cultivated land, and yet we can't even feed ourselves. That's the one that is actually
crazy. It's really crazy.
We can't, if we want to even start talking about producing, there's something that maybe we don't know how to manage something, but then we can feed. But we can't feed. I mean, there was a day I found out, that Nigeria does not produce toothpick. That was the highest.
Mine was matches. It was crazy. And I think the country that produces that is in Asia or something. And I was like, wait. Matches, I'm telling you. And it was so easy, like the oil production and everything. Wait, Nigeria doesn't produce toothpick. No. They import toothpick.
Yes, they import toothpick. Every toothpick that you see is
so whenever I'm using toothpick, I have to be
like, yes, no,
serious.
Yes.
Wow.
It's actually very saddening, and then there are just so many things that you don't even know that.
Exactly.
There are some things you see and you're like, okay, of course we should be able to but no. And that's just showing how terrible things are and the state of our economy right now. If we should look into that a bit more, let's look at India. You know, the other day when we were talking on Go and Verify, how Mr. P2B went to Bangladesh to make investigations on how they were able to come out from poverty and what they did and all that. So I think it was during that period as well that P2B was able to gather all these data concerning their exports, concerning their production. I mean, not only did they utilize their lands, their agrariable lands, they also, I mean, let's look at the textile industry. You know, when you go to Onisha, there's a place that's called Obidient. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but it's just for Indian.
Is it in Onitsha or Aba?
Onisha.
Okay.
Yes, it's in Onisha. I went there when I went to go get something for pageantry, my A1. So yes, it's called Obidient because the culture I presented was one Indian. I presented the Indian culture, so I had to go look for materials there. And when you get there, it's just Indian lace, Indian dresses, Indian materials, and everything. This just made me wonder, if you go to India or USA, would you see a place called Oba Nigeria or something that is just Nigerian Ankaras, Nigerian wears and mix and all those stuff? And then the answer is no.
Well, I think there are some places, right, as a stand, that I don't know the specific country, but when you get there, you will realize that these areas are like, it's only Nigerian made goods, probably clothes. There's one place in, I think, Dubai, right? It's just that particular section, you just get Aba clothes. Yes, quality Aba clothes, right? And if you see them, there is nothing foreign there. You just know that this is Aba clothes.
Really?
Yes. But then I think I love that because the people realize that, okay, even if the government or the state of our country does not help us, we have to help ourselves, right? So even if the country doesn't go there and implement all of these things, if I have the money, definitely I should go there and establish all of these things to represent, Nigeria outside. So,
but wait, so let me ask, this place in Dubai, is it the Nigerians in Dubai are the ones producing these things?
They are exporting. They are okay, let me use the word importing. They are importing it from Nigeria to that place. Oh, wow. So not just Nigerians buying Nigerian goods, right? But those foreigners as well, they're buying from them.
Okay, they buy from them.
Yes.
Exactly, because I have a friend who stays in China. So he imports these Nigerian food and all those things to China. So that place like Nigerian food only. So people come from different places just to try it out, all those kind of things. Yeah.
Nigerians on a larger scale.
Nigerians are actually helping themselves. These are not funded by the government. These are not funded by the government. Nigerians are going out. Like, this is a huge business right now. If I really want to make it and I have money to invest,
if you have the capital,
exactly. If I have money, to be honest, I am going to invest it in import and export, like in exporting things that we make here outside, because there are a lot of Nigerians outside.
It's really, really booming, and like if you get to the restaurants now, like people are trying to and most especially social media is helping out in this kind of thing. They'll be like, oh, I want to try this Nigerian food.
Yeah, but I think the government should be more involved right now.
That's different.
The government should be more involved.
This is what you're saying. It's individual based. Like, this is what individuals are doing for
themselves. Yes. Imagine when the government comes in. Exactly.
Reflecting on on Nigeria's
economics
and all these things. It's not reflecting. It's just because I've heard of Nigerians exporting goods, especially to these places where there are more Nigerians and they can't have access to these things in Nigeria.
Exactly.
But I don't know if it's that big of a deal, then why is it still a problem? Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's just so much that we haven't explored in that
and
aspect.
okay, sorry for cutting you short. I also think that I'm just saying, but then I have witnessed it, right, from other people who are importers and exporters, right? So Nigerians or the government tend to make things harder for people who export things. Yes, they make things harder. Like, you're trying to export these things, and it's not as if you're exporting someone's life, like you're taking a dead body. They make everything, the policies, the money and everything. Like, why is this such a big deal in all of these things? So it's not just about Nigerian policy, right? But then the foreigners, we have this thing, you know, this how do I put it? Like, Nigeria has this bad name. So in all of these things, it becomes harder for you to export some of our stuffs outside the country. So that's one of the things that Nigerians are facing. But I think that when the government comes in, it will, you know, all of these things.
I believe that exactly, because when my brother was traveling to South Africa, he came down to Onitsha to pick a lot of Ankaras and stuff like that. So when he was moving to South Africa, they were like, these goods are Nigeria, like, you have to bring it down. So you have to, I'm telling you, like, the goods, you have to bring it down. No, the material is like, you have to reduce some of it. So when he took it there to South Africa, like, a lot of people were happy. So my question now is that, why is it that if to say that these things are not, for instance, now in South Africa, why is it that the government are not trying their best, like, to help those ahead?
Exactly.
I feel like another reason is because, like P2B said, it's about supporting these small. They don't even have support. They don't even have support from the
government. They're funding themselves.
First of all, and then she mentioned something about reducing the material. So it doesn't even make sense, for instance, because you're trying to. That's why I said it doesn't affect, like, the national scale. You're trying to make exports, and they are telling you to reduce the quantity. This is going to affect the profit you're going to make,
because you already know, like, okay, this is the rate,
and then let's now bring it down to petty traders. You made mention of them not being able to have access to good rates and
foreign exchanges,
exchange rates.
Exactly.
It's really very confusing. And then I don't know why they did it like that. You have a particular set of people who have different experiences or relationship with exchange rate. Their own story is different from the normal layman story. If the man at the lowest level of the ladder wants to access these foreigners, you have to go to Bureau de Change, black market,
and the exchange rates is just something else.
And then let's also to bring it back to what Toby said. You know how he said that if you want to know the whole production to consumption to production, if you want to know a state that is producing, you look at their export rates, like how they export. Do they export? What's the level? How much are they even making from exportation? And then let's look at Nigeria for instance. We are seeing that Nigerians are not exporting, and that is in turn affecting our foreign exchange rate and the rest of them, because it makes so much sense that if Nigeria as a country is actually genuinely, he said genuine. You know when he said genuinely, it's not, people can be involved, but your interest is not genuine. So if you are genuinely involved in exportation, see how it's going to affect our foreign exchange rates, because then we'll have more access to dollar. Dollar is what everybody is in search for now. That is the gold.
But I like what he said about that when he wins the election, that he's really going to make it like a single forest. Even those laymen can have access to this.
Exactly.
For instance, my dad is a businessman. He sells clothes, and he buys these. He has to go to the black market. Do you understand? To buy these dollars, and the rate is too high. As someone that has access, like that has this kind of like to the government, and then it's the same business. You see that? I'm telling you
exactly. And about that, right? I think Nigerians or the Nigerian system is still operating in capitalism, because you find out that only these people who are well-to-do, only these people who are popular, exactly, have access to all of these things that everyone knows. So exactly. So this foreign exchange thing is something that, personally, right, I never knew that it is like Nigeria, the exchange rate currently is lower than the one that you get from black markets. And when I googled it, I was like, okay, what's the current exchange rate? I saw that it's low, and I'm wondering why are people selling it 800, 700? I really didn't understand that the only people who have access to the smaller amount of those dollars are people like Dangote's and exactly. But that doesn't really make sense. Why? Because if you continue like that, how do you expect the economy of the state to improve?
That's how, when we also look at circulation of money, you see that only within the hands of a few.
Exactly.
And then it doesn't even make sense, because if you are circulating money within the hands of few people, it doesn't go round, and then there's no way for you to increase. You want to steal. There's a limit to how much you can steal, because the money is not, it's just within this circle or within this group. And then I wanted to also point to, since we're still on the topic of foreign exchange rates, let's also talk about some of these challenges that local traders, petty traders face. Is the issue of taxing. Taxing is one painful policy that I don't even know if the government realizes that it is much of a problem. Let's talk about traders and people that sell on the roadside. You know, when you pass, all those people that have small kiosks, them. Yes, and they're being taxed as they are selling big things. Exactly. And then you see that the people that are making this money are not even taxed as much as these people on the road, these people on the streets. And then it doesn't even make sense. That is why when P2P was commenting on the whole currency, new currency, old currency, there was something that he said that will make you understand that, see, this man has these people that you consider the lowest part of the ladder, he has them at heart. When he said that he knows that people are going through a whole lot, but this currency change is not peculiar to Nigeria, but that the bank should try and make it available to small-scale businesses, the unbanked, people that is petty traders in general, because that is where the actual circulation is. Those are the people that we like to call the grassroots, because they are the grassroots. Because at the end of the day, if these people do not have access to this money, how is the money going to circulate and get to the higher places? Affect them as well, affect their businesses, affect how they're going to carry out trading with you understand, with people and their customers. So this is just so much, and we're going to be talking a bit more on how Mr. P2B wants to take Nigeria from a consuming state to a producing state, and how he wants to cause about agrarian revolution and lead that to industrial revolution. Don't go nowhere, we'll be right back.
Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, LP, can you get a vote? Labour Party, Labour Party, LP, can you get a vote? Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour say, Mama, Papa, na to be Labour Party, Mama, Papa, na ever say, Mama, Papa, na to be Labour Party, Mama, Papa, na to Labour Party.
Mr. P2B's administration built from scratch Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital with 25 building structures. His government funded transformation of massive infrastructural development, accreditation of 12 health institutions and 2 hospitals, and also built 10 maternal and childcare centers across the state. He is the first governor to purchase medical equipment worth over 135 million naira and 50 ambulances for the health sector in Anambra State, which remain functional till today. He built and equipped Dr. Jonwilo Heart Center in St. Joseph Hospital, Adazinnuku, where heart operations are performed. Anambra State is the first state in Nigeria to distribute more than 30,000 computers to secondary schools. Mr. P2B distributed about 700 buses to secondary schools in Anambra State and built 200 primary school blocks. He donated the sum of 300 million naira to Anglican churches and 440 million naira to Roman Catholic churches to rehabilitate their missionary schools. During his tenure, he gave 1 million naira each to more than 160 first-class graduates. To promote the reading culture in the state, he went ahead to build a well-equipped library known Library Oka. He also rehabilitated the divisional library in Onitsha and gave 500,000 naira to each secondary school in the state to provide library materials. This boosted the student performance from the 26th position in Nigeria to the first position. The security improvement was exceptional as he provided security vehicles to 177 communities in the state. He cleared pension and gratuity owed since 1990 to the tune of about 37 billion naira and also paid monthly stipends to the elderly in the state. Mr. Peter Obi built the first secretariat complex in Anambra State to house the various Anambra State government ministries that were scattered all over the state. His good governance attracted the second largest brewery in the world, known as Sab Miller, to build their first greenfield facility in the state. He was recognized by the Millennium Development Goals (MDG) as the best governor in the implementation of their programs in Nigeria. Peter Obi constructed 2 bridges across the popular Agulu Lake in Anyocha local government area of Anambra State at the cost of 2 billion naira. He funded Agulu Lake Hotel Project, Golden Tulip, and reconstruction of Upper Iweka bridges at the axis of Enugu-Onitsha Expressway with 6 lanes. Peter Obi constructed 800-kilometer of road network between rural and urban areas. Some of the roads include Ibariam Internal Road, Ekulobia Ezinifite Road, Niger Drive Onitsha, Ifite Dunu Road, construction of Zik Avenue and Mpo Flyover, 30 verifiable bridges, Ezu Ebenebe Bridge, Oka North, Isu Anyocha Bridge, Opaka River Bridge, pedestrian bridge at permanent site Unizik Junction, Oka. He created industrial parks as catalysts for industrialization. He constructed and commissioned the Governor's Lodge at Annex Onitsha, FMR Customary Court of Appeal Complex, High Court buildings at Nnewi and Ogidi, Judges' Quarters at Onitsha. His visionary leadership brought unprecedented transformation to the local government in Anambra State. He made provision for 1.2 billion naira credit facilities to farmers in the state and cleared a 20 million naira debt owed banks as a result of the 2012 flood devastation. Peter Obi's administration purchased 9.
Welcome back from that short break. This is Obidient Family TV and you're on to Obedient Women. My name is Sharon Enemchuku and with my 2 beautiful guests,
Jessica Chinwe.
And Grace. Okay, we've been talking about the future of petty traders in Obi's administration, and before we went on that break, we touched a little on our export rates, foreign exchange rates, and all that. But now we are diving into what Mr. Peter Obi has for Nigeria, the plans he has for us, which is to move us from a consuming state to a producing state, and also to cause about agrarian revolution, which will in turn lead to industrialization. So that is where we were at. Now let's just talk about that a minute. I mean, like I said before, you know how Nigeria has so much land. I mean, even in the north, there is like 60% of cultivated land. And how we mentioned that even with all that, we are still not being able to cater for our own needs. And then I think this is also, no, it is in Peter Obi's 7-point agenda. That is the food security, where he talked about, you know, helping small-scale farmers and funding them, giving them loans and helping them. We're also going to talk about that in a minute, but let's look at what will happen to Nigerian economy when we have finally this agrarian revolution that will in turn lead to industrialization. I think the first thing that will happen is job creation.
True.
There's going to be job at the agricultural
Definitely.
level. Because I don't know, I think it's because of what we're experiencing now, and people don't see that there is so much potential in agriculture, and that this can actually produce jobs for people. And you know how we say that we have over, I can't even tell how many million of Nigerian youths are out of job at this moment, but there are a lot. Okay. So this, first of all, is going to create jobs for those youths, and then it's going to just be amazing.
But let me put something in all this you said. Okay, I feel like creating jobs, right, first of all, you know, there is this mentality about being a farmer when you say you're a farmer, you're like, okay, are you using your hose? Are you doing all these things, right? But then I think what Peter Obi is trying to initiate is going to impact the youths and change their mindset, because there was a time when Buhari was talking about us going to the farm, and people are like, what's that? But then it doesn't mean that being a farmer or being into agriculture doesn't make sense, or we need food in our country. But one thing I also want to point out, which is a problem in our country, is that the rate of exportation. We do not have, like, the circulation of food in our country right now is something else. Like, it doesn't make sense, because when you come to some areas in the country, you find out that food and everything is just so high. Yeah. So, but then there is also something I've noticed, right? When it comes to exporting stuffs for, like, foodstuffs, right, in Nigeria to outside country, it's even easier. It's easier. Like, it's just that it takes a lot of money. But then the rate at which people are exporting our own food outside, I'm not saying that it's bad, but then it's more easier than when you are transporting this food to people in the country. Why should it be so? Yeah. So this is, aside from the fact that it will create job, but then we should also look at the fact that this insecurity issue, which the current government and the past one were not able to, tackle, it's going to, when it comes to Peter Obi being the president, right, it's going to really help our economy.
It's going to, I totally believe that, because when you say the issues that these people face, being one of them being insecurity, and then I don't know how they expect petty traders or small business owners to be able to transport their goods safely without having to fear for their lives, without having to look behind their back, their shoulder, and then you are always first of all, you can't even do business. Let's look at what's happening in the north. We see how because of the insecurity in the north, you come here in the east and there are some things that are just quite expensive. They are pricey because there's insecurity in the north. And then let's also look at what Mr. Peter Obi did when he was governor of Anambra State, and how he was able to tackle the issue of transportation by giving us good roads. We saw how he was able to connect and link our roads, which aided transportation of goods, which also helped these farmers that we're talking about to be able to have access to their customers and their consumers, and
even credit facilities. How he was able to provide loans, soft loans for women.
Also, heard that he gave 100,000 naira each to 240 youths during 2016 when he was the governor of Anambra State.
That's amazing.
So he was really doing a great job.
Yeah, I like the fact that when Mr. Peter Obi wants to do something, he goes all out.
Exactly.
In the sense that not only, there was a time, I don't know which program, but he not only supports you financially, he gives you the wisdom, he gives you the information and to go about it. Because I've said this before the show, that traders should be Mr. Peter Obi's number one supporters.
True, that's
that's it. He's trying to identify himself as a trader. Even on his national passport, he'll tell you that he's not. And then people try to use that to throw shades at him or to insult him. And I said, oh, he's just a trader. But then Mr. Peter Obi said something that I really like. He said that his experience as a trader is what is going to actually help him to be a better president. Because when you are in your shop here, you are able to accommodate both your buyers, your customers, and people that are just passerbys. You know, people that do window shopping, they'll just come to your shop. Oh, how much is this thing? 20 naira, how much is this? And they'll just go down by it. So, and he said that is the background, that is his experience that has helped him to be able to negotiate with agitators. You see him going to places in the north. There was one man that he went to meet, I can't remember his name exactly, and they were trying to drag him because of that. Oh, what is Mr. Peter Obi doing, associating himself with so and so man? Why is it associating himself with someone that has identified as a terrorist and all that? And you see that this man knows how to negotiate.
Exactly.
As a trader, you negotiate. And he said that Nigeria needs someone who is going to negotiate us out of our problems.
And that's something to actually stress, because there was a time that he had issues with, or someone had issues with him, the current governor of Anambra State, when he was just giving long texts about what he did and what he did not. And I was really shocked when I discovered that, I don't know, maybe the following week or something, but then they were hugging each other. And I was like, is this not the man that was saying stuff against this Peter Obi? And I was like, this man is so good with people, because it takes people's, how do I put it, like knowing people and understanding people to not take those things to heart. Exactly, philosophy, right? Exactly. So yeah, I think he has that skill, and that's something that we need in our country, because Nigeria has this bad name. We need someone that can represent us well.
Everywhere, the moment you say you're from Nigeria, they'll be like,
look you with
it's not good.
You know, you said something. You said the way he replies or responds to people. And then I don't know if, okay, I don't know which show exactly, but it was on this station where we talked about what Bola Tinubu said when it came to Anambra State against Peter Obi, that Peter denied Jesus 3 times, that we should not listen to Peter Obi, that he cannot keep his promises. And then I was actually very, someone that was looking at me when I was watching that video was, what are you watching that's making you so happy? And it was just Mr. Peter Obi's response to that. Okay, he said that that Bola Tinubu is his respected elder brother, and that first of all, that Bola Tinubu should know that Peter Obi truly denied Jesus. I said, let's see Peter Obi denied Jesus. Please, and then after that, he was repentant, he was remorseful. But it was still the same Peter that denied Jesus, that Jesus made the rock on which he built his church. You will be the rock upon which I will build my church, and the foundation will not be shaken. So you know, Peter was now saying, okay, look, Nigeria should trust me. Let me be that rock upon which Nigeria
There's something about Peter Obi. He just knows how to reply. And one thing again that I laugh at is who are those people, or who in person is advising Tinubu? Who are you? I think you're a supporter of Peter Obi, because you got the wrong advice. Like, why would you tell someone to go on stage and start talking about Simon Peter and referring to he did that?
You think someone told him to say that?
Because it doesn't really sound like something like, it doesn't sound like someone that's intelligent. I know someone maybe just and I'm saying this, I'm going to say it, whoever is advising Tinubu, thank you so much. Continue.
One thing I like Peter is that he always have the right answer for everything.
He always has the right answer. And then, you know, when they called him stingy, because this is what I was trying to say, do you see what people are trying to do? They're trying to attach that name to your person, and they're trying to make it stick permanently. And then there was something that he said that I really like. He talked about capital formation, and he said that he was one that actually explained what capital formation is like, and I understood it. He was saying that capital formation is all about savings, and there is no way you can be able to form capital without saving. And then he started backtracking to when he was governor of Anambra State, and how he was able to save and leave over 75 billion naira, right, for the other government, and that no other governor has done that, and that is because he's able to manage resources and he's able to spend this. You know, when someone was saying that one of the problem of Nigeria is expenditures and how we spend recklessly. And then we see that Peter Obi doesn't only know how to generate income, he knows how to spend. And that's very important, because if you don't know how to, I just for real, if I meet Peter Obi, just please teach me on finance. I want to make money. Because I just feel like you can't be this man's friend and you'll be poor. Not because he's going to dash you money. He's not. He's not going to. He's going to give you what is worth more than money. He's going to give you information, knowledge, on how to go about whatever it is that you're doing. And I think that is beautiful, because information really is power. And then when he was talking about capital formation and how he was able to save, and that really you can't. Capital is what would help a country to develop. And if they call him stingy, then so be it. Beautiful.
We like the definition of stingy.
I love that definition. I want to be more stingy.
I want, exactly. As long as it makes me accountable for what I have.
As long as I'm able to contribute to the growth of my people, or to the growth of people around me, let me be called stingy. I think I like that definition. Okay, I wanted to bring up something about Bangladesh.
Oh yeah, we didn't stress that. Okay, when it comes to Peter will be going out to discover things, because there was a time I mentioned, or we were discussing, that Peter will be someone that doesn't lie when it comes to him not knowing certain things. He, like, for the fact that you had to go there just to investigate or really know exactly how this country was once poor, but now they've elevated, and Nigerians or Nigerian country were better than them. So it's something to to applaud. And the fact that in Bangladesh, right, they had this issue with poverty, obviously, but then this, I think they empowered the women, and they were able to, like, skyrocket the economy, and the fact that they were able to produce, you mentioned something about producing good clothes and all of those things, exactly. So that was one of the two, to enhance the economy, and it's something to look into, and that was why Peter Obi was referring to empowering women. Empowering women, like, that is one key thing that we need to start doing, exactly.
Empowering women. Yes. We talk about petty traders, right? Okay, let's have something put up on the screen about Bangladesh being the fastest growing economy. Let's just have that showing on the screen before we talk more about before we just talk more. Okay, that's the video. Oh, it's even very faster than India.
It's just like somewhere in Nigeria.
Really. It's almost like Nigeria. It's almost like Nigeria. Digital power. Oh, yes, digital power. Bangladesh has 600,000 IT freelancers, the largest number in the world, IT tech. This is interesting. As more and more people access bank accounts online, and here we don't even have good network to access bank. We don't even have good network to access to be able to make transactions. It's diversifying beyond farming and manufacturing. Oh, that's beautiful. Building his own tech hub in Dhaka. Interesting. Generous tax breaks incentive entrepreneurs. And 100 special economic zones are being developed to attract investment. This is incredible what these people are doing. As that continues to show on the screen, let us just also continue to talk about what this man has discovered from Bangladesh and what it means for us Nigerians, and especially for petty traders. You know how you brought up, and what we've seen in the video, how the textile industry is the second largest in the world, coming close to China. And who are the people in charge of this industry? This is what we call microeconomy. I know how Mr. Pitobi is he's very passionate about microeconomy.
Yes.
And it's easy for you to see that. I mean, like I was saying when he was talking about the foreign, sorry, why do I keep saying foreign? When he was talking about our currency and how it should be made available to the unbanked and the small, the way he was saying, you see that he even said that this is my own interest. Do you understand? And there is something that I would like to say in response to people who believe that macroeconomy, which they say that P2B is not focused on, can actually benefit from microeconomy, because when the microeconomy is improving or when the microeconomy is growing, it's also going to affect macroeconomy, because we are the ones. If you have a business, right? You have a business that you run. If you are doing well in that particular business, if you are making so much profit, once you put it in the bank, you would save in the bank, you would patronize the so-called big national investments and companies and the rest of them. They are also growing that way. You can't grow. The macroeconomy cannot develop when the microeconomy is suffering. And I really relate to Mr. P2B's idea or his ideology or his views on microeconomy, and I particularly think that is going to really boost our economy and our individual lives. I really do believe that. Now let's also look a little about let's also look about small business enterprises and what Mr. P2B plans to do on the national scale. Not just for microeconomy, but the macroeconomy. You know how we mentioned about resolving insecurity and how it's going to help improve the general scale of things. Let's look at how insecurity is really dealing with Nigerians, Nigerian petty traders.
Exactly.
There's so much going on, because when we talk about insecurity, people are losing their insecurity. Sounds like a touch word. Like, people are actually dying, people are losing properties, people are losing their lives, things are happening. There's something that you can't go home and feel safe and secure. That's a problem. Not having that feeling of security is a problem.
Sure, it is.
And these people are the ones that have to go to the farm every day. They're the ones that are going there for, is it 16 or 20 years?
APC.
PDP. I think it's PDP. That has been ruling for 16. No, it was recently that they handed over to APC, because they're doing it turn by turn.
Let's just go
So it's been, you've had this number of years to make something out of Nigeria, and then things just went from top to bottom. It went from top to bottom real quick, and I don't know the face that you have to even show to people and say, oh, campaign for me, that this next 4 years or 8 years is going to be better. But people believe that.
I think that, okay, let's focus on what happened, or the interview with Tinubu and a few other persons. So he was saying something. It's just obvious that Tinubu has nothing to offer. He just doesn't have anything.
Because if you're saying
okay, yes, they have nothing to offer. But let me just concentrate on Tinubu today. He said something, and he was communicating with his language to I don't know, community, I don't know, but then they are Yoruba, and then he was speaking it. Exactly.
The song that Mama G sang.
Is he very saying it? Here to chop.
It's morale. It's morale. We are telling Nigerians that they're trying to come and get our money. So the money that they are owing, that Nigerians are owing, is not enough. Exactly. They don't want to eat the money from side, because Nigeria is in a huge debt.
They want to put more debt.
Someone said that it will get to a point where every Nigerian start paying